Oh, 1964 here. Another racecourse and shock news. Hamilton this time. We're actually staying overnight, an evening meeting. I found somewhere for about 24 quid to stay overnight. It's very, very cheap. I hope it's okay. It's very cheap. I hope it's okay. At least, I mean, I doubt. I'm not looking for 5-star luxury, just to make sure it exists and stuff like that. But it should be fine. So there for the listed Glasgow stakes, saying only got one group of graded race that's doing Britain. So go for the listed races. So here at Newcastle, 9:46. I get Hamilton a few hours before the first race. I was getting a little early, just looked on Hamilton. I was just doing that tomorrow. I actually got to train at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. A few of them to consider. I thought actually going to Glasgow possibly today or tomorrow instead of Hamilton. I love doing Hamilton, and I'm a cheap ticket to buy Carlisle only gets me there. It's £14 each. Well, about less than £14 each way, isn't it? Way back to prices, Edinburgh for £14 from Hamilton. It's cheaper than I expected. But we're going to Carlisle, getting down there. I'm going to get there for 2 o'clock anyway, so there's no point really going anywhere else. I'm just doing Hamilton. Beforehand, a couple of nice parks. We'll do that probably tomorrow as a museum, military museum. I'll hold up around there. We'll get to a meeting. In terms of pubs, there's a Victoria Inn or something in Hamilton, which might have real ale. It may not. It wasn't last year. It didn't actually. Well, that's the only option real ale in Hamilton is anyway. Motherwell's a bit further off for a walk. The only pub there does that is Wetherspoons, and for various reasons I said before I don't like Wetherspoons. So if it's the Victoria pub, I'll have to double check the pub name. I'll go there. I know real ale. I like a couple of pints, just some sort of lager last time round. I'm not a great sort of Carlsberg type drinker, but I might. But there's enough interesting stuff there to drink where I thought, oh, I've got a couple of pints there, and I'll probably do that tonight. I don't actually forgot how the time. I forgot when I checked my train times. Time for a pint of beer one. From London Public Carlisle Station. Got over half an hour change from a train to Glasgow Central. So I may have got nice walk, but I've got some nice beers, and I'll probably the super trains on time. It seems to be. I'll do that. That's about it for today. There's a lot of sport I think taking place. I'm a bit out. But actually tired yesterday afternoon watching the Alpe stage on Tour de France. I'm a great Tour de France fan. There's also an athletics time today, and unfortunately 100 metres. There's some visa issues I was noticing today from the African nations especially. I don't know what has been going on, who's incompetent here between the African nations and the Americans. I'm not sure. There's debatable who's the incompetent people there. Well, I'll have to catch up on that recording Open Golf. I'll try and watch that tomorrow evening. I forgot actually, it's the 20th anniversary of the Baltic, which is nothing to do with sport, art gallery, and tomorrow and Sunday. So I might look at Sunday. I've been looking at what's going on there. I'll try and get there on Sunday. In terms of racing, got Newmarket evening. Newmarket meeting end of the month. Saying through Racing Worth they get 2 free Dr. Up tickets for almost all race meetings, above the Cheltenham Gold Cup, Derby, and the other one, Grand National Day. So I'm going to use a free ticket for Newmarket for that. Doncaster got Ticket Racing League. I don't like racing league concept, same as I have issues with the the Sugar Cup, but I was talking about here. But I might go to it if I change a bit cheaper, because the prize money for that and racing league is good, but I think concepts are both are silly, frankly. I don't think either work. Also, so that's Doncaster, Newmarket, July course, not one mile course. Same July course, racing between June and August, and one mile course is 2.25 miles long. And there's one other when I'm going to go away, comes together, Sandown on Thursday, and that's where I go off and get to my train, a very picturesque route to Carlisle from Newcastle.
The last one in, we're just about set. And they're off. Francisco Wayne with very sleepy looking starting stalls. There's Mr. Ray by 4 minutes or so, with more up and low in the world. But it's the Bruton by Hilton onside host Andy Clark, racing a long way up the home straight for the first half a mile or so.
Very nice place. You wouldn't think this is about a quarter of an hour walk outside of Hamilton, Cadzow, Glen. I'm probably going to do a couple of parks. One, Strathclyde Park, one I can't pronounce at all. It is. Therefore, I'll get the train back to Newcastle about 6 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice meeting at Hamilton. I'm actually had 3 winners, I haven't checked, but saying I tend to go for small multiple bets, so I don't think I made any money, but I don't doubt lost any either, so that's okay. Place went to, that's about 30 quid, nice place for in Hamilton, was staying overnight, got in, got back out. I can't remember what pub I mentioned last time. It was a George Bar. Some of them I said Victoria. I'm not sure what I said. George Bar. It was nice. It was a real ale. I didn't think it would be. It wasn't last time when they were last year. But surprisingly, they did. So fortunately, there was also karaoke night as well. It's a bit annoying. Some things were, to be fair, half decent actually. It wasn't quite so horrendous as I thought it might be if I found out that was happening. I may have turned up anyway. But a nice pints of real ale, cotton bought type, but well, same brewery I think, plus a pint of Belhaven Best, which is actually surprisingly okay. I had that once before. Sent to barman there, he was a nice guy, saying I tend not to drink the same thing twice. He agreed, and he says he doesn't really, tends to drink different things, and he says he liked second beer I had. One was 5.6% beer or some darkish beer, one 3.9%. He preferred the other, the second one. I think both are decent. So at Hamilton, I didn't plan for today anyway, so got a late train, 5:45 out of Hamilton to, so I think I may have said to Edinburgh this time rather than Carlisle to Newcastle. So there's a couple of parts of I said Strathclyde, another one. Nice time yesterday. I got a bit of knackered, put too much weight on again, and I was got a creaky knacker on Hamilton. I might get a creaky knacker now, because effectively yesterday and today just put too much weight on, as I was saying. I think turning 50 a few months ago isn't the only problem. Certainly, it's just got too much weight on. So I went to see the David Cooper statue. I thought looking one to do in Hampton. David Cooper, of course, a well football player. The plaque was dedicated by Alistair McCoist, obviously Ali McCoist, and the leader of the council. And that's that plaque. I mean, the statue is actually nice. The plaque's really run down. I think someone needs to look into that because it's very, very badly faded. Looking at the Aki Stadium, Hamilton Academicals, I might as well put a picture up there I took of that on here, from just up top of a bit of a hill on the side of a course. Of course, a football ground even. And then a look, now what did I, oh days. Hamilton Mausoleum, interesting place. Can't get into it unfortunately on today or tomorrow or yesterday. If I'd known, in fact, fortunately it's a bit warm here, a bit humid actually in the Cadzow, Glen. Tours on Sunday, and if I was there for a Sunday meeting at the right time, it might be useful, but unfortunately I think it's 10 o'clock and also in the morning, and I can't get to Hamilton, well, sitting on Sunday early anyway, and 2 o'clock was the classical race meeting, unless it was an evening meeting, and then I wouldn't be doing it. Sorry. Because it would be not going to go back. We might stay overnight. It's not, unless I was staying overnight, then I might do it on a Sunday. I don't know, but it's just not that likely to be staying overnight. Hamilton. There's one that I think the Sunday series meeting I didn't go to this year. I mean, might next year, but again, have to stay overnight. And it's just not. You got 30 quid staying overnight. Place is nice, but is it worth 30 quid staying overnight in Hamilton? I'm not sure. But that's something I would do if I came back. So you to book it, but it's Hampton, Duke of Hamilton? No, is it Duke of Hamilton or is it Duke again? It's a Duke of Hamilton, certainly, but I don't know if it's them. It might be somebody else, I'm not sure. And there was Cenotaph just near Racecourse, nice little war memorial. Very, very touching, plaques. And the Low Falls Museum, Low Something Museum, it's a nice place. Interesting, the Cameroonians regiment, I hadn't heard of before and looked at what to do in Hamilton. That's an interesting one. Bloody humid in there, it was so warm. I had my jacket, I was overweight, but I was all right outside, and something around, I think it was about 5 minutes. Oh my God, it's going, I think, Jesus. It was air conditioning. But I found later on, I think either that part was a bit better, air conditioning, or I just got used to a heater maybe as well, but it was very humid in there. It's a nice enough place. West of it's a little less interesting as, apart from Cameroon's history of that regiment. Because you can see that sort of stuff. So I was just trying to avoid this bloody strimmer. It was just all some strimmer's been going on. I moved down with Glen a bit to avoid it, and I think he's blokes following me. If you get near, I think there was a strimmer. But rest of it, sort of stuff you see elsewhere. Coal mining is interesting, but I can go to Ashington Water Museum in Ashington, and the rest of the stuff is just sort of like electronics history or sort of things like radios, TVs, but sort of stuff you see anywhere. It's not something unique to Hamilton, but still a nice museum to go in for a short time. Look, it's actually getting lower. He is bloody following me at the top there. It's ridiculous. But I was saying, that's about it. Got sand on Thursday. I was checking the weather actually for sand, not so much with me. There's no extreme heat hitting. I thought it might hit the meeting because there is a risk. I remember a few years back there was a race cancelled jump through. I think my hit jumped on the flat. Jump through was cancelled, I think at Cheltenham because of the heat. I wasn't there, but then you read about this. It's low 20, so it shouldn't unless something dramatic happens. That shouldn't be an issue to get to. And I said I've got Newmarket Rolling Mile end of July as well, and Doncaster. I think sometime in August. My racing league sometime I think in August. So it's a very nice place. Unfortunately, ye oldie dead end. So I'm assuming you just go down one side of a glen and back outside the other. It's very similar to Jasmine Dean. If ever know Newcastle, out in Newcastle, where I live. Nice, but also that's there. There's not always a path on the other side. I just didn't trig this. I could go back here, but it's too difficult to get back. I don't want to go back the same way. I pre-leafy started flights of stairs, rare spot, then back down and up again. But I think I'm trying to find a way back out. Then there's a way out here, or I will be here with the ghost of me and Hamilton in the Cadzow Park, or Glen, never ever leaving. Chatelherault Park. Looks a nice place. I altered my plans with this first instead of Strathclyde Park. I use the phrase alter my plans to mean I suddenly after about 10 minutes walk realised the wrong way. I thought I was going to a Strathclyde Park, realised, oh, I've gone one way, oh hang on, I'm going to a Chatelherault, I might as well do this first. God, it's difficult again in that thought, because actually a park is quite some way up from what some green space. I didn't realise the rest of it is actually housing a few fields. It's bleeding solidly uphill, so I'm pretty knackered as well. But it seems a nice enough place, and I'll do that when I do Strathclyde Country Park. I'll go back down, but I'm trying to get right way this time round. It's actually a train station Chatelherault, but I want to go completely dead on to go to Hamilton, but I don't think it's not that far to get back, but I'll see what it is to do around here. You're very nice at Chatelherault Country Park. Back inside the nature reserve here, I'm not sure. Got me to visit centre, looked some interesting stuff. Had a coffee and a bottle of some Rubicon flavoured water. It was perfectly nice. Been getting some food. Decided I really wanted to drink, well, non-alcoholic type. But in a new way to stab Dave in the back, and my shoe levels come split in two. Amazing. How come that? I'm thinking I don't believe it. Sort of poor quality for Victor Melder impression. I bought quite a few second-hand shoes. I've had two shoes last a few years of giving away, and the cost of the shoe wasn't worth mending them really. As I bought quite a few online, about 20 quid. From decent company actually, these good reviews, and these have been alright. And this one not. I bought about 13 pairs, ridiculous. I only had about two pairs of shoes in my ever most of my time, but at the same time ever in my life actually. Plus some walking boots, a couple of pairs of trainers, and bizarrely some wrestling shoes. If I with deadlifts and with gym, I haven't used it. I tend not to use them at the minute. Those, forgetting I have them almost. But yeah, it's really looks a bit split a bit. It looks a bit stupid. I can cope with. Got looking stupid, frankly. I once went to Goodwood Racecourse in a gold suit, so I can cope with looking stupid. But it's just annoying, especially doing quite a bit of walking. May actually hang around here. Actually, it's got a few hours rather than going off after this. So Strathclyde Country Park. Not just the shoe split. I'll see. A bit nice. I think that building down there, does that be greyish brick building? I think that might be more the Liam Dukes of Hamilton, that building in the middle of the video there. I'm not sure. I think it is actually. So I can't put the balconies behind there, but it's getting here, wandering around here, because it looks larger than I thought it might be at one point. As I go to Strathclyde Country Park. I joked slightly about Chatelherault train station. Actually, in fact, looking at this, if I get sort of 5:38, I can just get Hampton West and stay on the train actually through Hampton West over to Glasgow. Dog running across the ball, so I might just do that actually. I don't know yet. I haven't decided what I'll do. Depends how much there is to do around here. Still do a lot of walking. It's might still being shoe gate, so to say. It'll hold together enough to get me home. I just won't bother repairing them. The cost of the shoe is not worth basically repairing them. and I've got a lot of ones I can wear. But it worries me a little bit for the rest of the shoes. You know, are they going to... I think it was alright yesterday. I didn't notice it this morning or last night. I think what happened, I was just walking around, just getting into the park, into the park. Thought I caught something, looked down the shoe and realised it split, but I think it did then. So, wow, ridiculous, really. But it's a nice place, this. It's a nice one, but the place looks interesting enough. The visitor centre, I think, looks interesting. But yeah, so unexpected and unwanted drama. Dog keeps running around. But it's nice, the place. It's just saying you wouldn't think that's Hamilton over there. You wouldn't really think. How do you think? I was thinking sort of industrial central belt, you know, where sort of, you just don't think of someone like this would be near Hamilton. And there's also Strathclyde Country Park, where Cadzow, where Glen I was at earlier. It's all a nice enough place. They've got, I'm not quite sure that is actually over there. Because Hamilton's, that's not Hamilton, I'm sitting in Hamilton's the other direction. So over that way. So I don't quite know what that actually is. Oh, it's probably Motherwell. That's probably, yes, that must be Motherwell over there. I think where we were. Yes, it must have to be Motherwell. Yeah. So it's a nice, it's interesting. Bridge somewhere. I mean, the problem is, as with Cadzow Glen, it's an interesting place to look like. Looking for it all downhill. That's the same problem getting here was it was so uphill, and a lot of it's downhill. But I think I'm not sure I want to go here, and then up Strathclyde Country Park as well. Partly because I've got too much weight on, but also partly I just don't think I can be bothered. And wearing shoes, even with them not being split, it can be quite hard walking in shoes. My fun of things going slightly wrong. I haven't put my headphones on today yet, and I knew that, well, first the earbud, one of them had fallen off, which was annoying, and then there was that issue about whether the one side was not hardly working, and now not working at all. I hadn't tried them until now, I was going to just check videos to see what I'd said. I remember what I've just been doing, and bloody, that's going to be fun. Yeah, back to Newcastle. I haven't read enough. It's quite full of brain, and I hardly read. I mean, I do a lot of stuff on Kindle, so I could read that on the way train back home, I suppose. But it's an absolute pain that. I was looking at. I'm going down there to the Green Bridge, it's so called. There was a white bridge back the other way, which is out down with the landslide actually. But I just seen people coming up here, and it's healthy, youngish people. I'm actually exhausted, and I'm thinking, going down here, I'm going to have to turn a face around. What goes down must go up. And so run down to the bridge, I'm going to have to go back up again at some point as well. And they're very youngish people, in the 20s probably. I'm really knackered. It could be keeling over time for Dave here. I should be. She's the only odd thing about going down and then back up again. A very long time, early 2000s. My mum went over to Las Vegas, but also went down the areas nearby, and I went to Grand Canyon. And the difference about that sort of thing is what you never do in Grand Canyon. And you always give the signs. There's actually no visitor centre, new one, where you can walk in a glass above a canyon. I would like to have done that actually, but this is well after I was there. But you never go down with Grand Canyon and back up again the same day. And there's a comic sort of sign we put up with someone staggering off the path of canyon because it's absolutely exhausted and fall off the edge. But it's a problem with canyons. You go. It's not like a mountain. Mountain you go up and then you go back down again. Canyon you go down and then you go back up. I think I went about a third of the way down and then back up. I think it'd be much. And this is one that was about 4 stone lighter. So I don't know. It's well, the new Tom Pidcock. I didn't realize Tom Pidcock. I've been watching the Tour. I don't know if I said. Watched Tour de France, the state done by his days live, and Pidcock winning. I didn't know he was an Olympic champion. I forgot. I knew. Yeah, we'd done Olympic champion mountain biking. I didn't know it was him until someone said during the stage, "Oh, of course it's him." Yeah, I forgot about who he was. Yeah, okay, going around well. But I suppose, you know, with a mountain bike, and no wonder went down quickly down the descent and up, coming into before the Alpe d'Huez, flying down past everyone, leaving everyone like Chris Froome has come back to form for dead, basically. Yeah, so it's going to be so another problem here. It seems. Hope it's the headphones, not the phone. I was trying a few new cheapish headphones, and none of them seem working correctly. And I'm hoping it could be the second S10 phone, maybe the connection's not working out right. And I'm wishing I do some sort of cheapish sort of Bluetooth headphones, and I thought, well, I'll be all right. I don't need them. And I wish I bought one now because it would be a lot easier. So I'm not going to make you stop for Country Park. I just not good. I forgot it closed at 5 anyway, and so I forgot I was going to do that first, then this one here, and there's just no point doing both. I also might get slightly earlier train because I was on the 5:45 train up Hampton West to Glasgow Central, then walk to Queen Street, and then Queen Street to Edinburgh, and then change Edinburgh to Newcastle. I don't need to on 5:45. I do need one 8 o'clock and then out of Edinburgh. That's it. So I can get an earlier train, so I might just go to the train station, Chatelherault to whatever, I've already forgot my name of where I am, a train station to Hampton West, it's £1.80. If I'm lucky, the train manager won't notice I'm on a train until I go for Hampton West. But anyway, it's £1.80, and then do that, and I might slightly a train. I will need to have some food at some point. I haven't ate at all today. There's the place I was staying was nice. 30 quid, I said it was 24, I don't know why I thought that. It was actually 30 quid. I thought it was 28. Actually, I'm not sure it was £2 more than expected, but 28 instead of 30 instead of 28 is not an issue. Nice place. Might do it again if I'm at Hampton. Rarely stay overnight. It's the only reason is because I don't want to go to this meeting. There's a good Sunday series meeting as well I didn't go to, but is it worth staying 30 quid for that? I'm not sure. I might do it. Lanark Silver Bell, they're saying, I'm not prize money is going well up for it now. Is it incredible? Is that a thing? £100,000 total prize money, so it must be winner, must be about 50 grand. I can't remember if I've seen a meeting or not. I always mix up with Carlisle Silver Bells meeting. I think it's Carlisle's the oldest trophy in Britain. And Lanark Silver Bell, what do you want at Lanark Racecourse to Lanark Close? Now, I did my air video state with air. Some issues of air last year, and I still do. With Racecourse. They tried to get basically Lanark Silver Bell, the trophy had been held race in somewhere in Lanarkshire County Council. Ever Lanark Race was closed, and wanted to offer to the 5 Scottish race courses: Cadzow, Hamilton, Musselburgh, Perth, and the other one, Hamilton. No, sorry, yes, Hamilton. Obviously, didn't say Hampton. Fortunately, it's possibly have to come back the same way I came down. There's actually a Lark Hill station, not a but I'm not sure you can get out towards it. I mean, again, that being mud or train I really want to catch, so no hurry. Yeah, so 5 years saying about that, the Silver Bell is the 5 race courses. I think I said what Cadzow came out, Hamilton, Musselburgh, and Perth. Jesus, they're getting old. But Air tried to take the trophy, and it was. And I said in my air video, well, most of the air video about air, I don't know if it's in the video itself, might be in the Musselburgh video I was talking about air. It's last year. Air, that's like a bit, she was actually like a bit of an arsehole. I think I put a link to a press release where he did that. But yes, I can't remember, I didn't mean to call also Bells. Wait, so I know about sometime about 4 or 5 years ago. But I can't remember being to a Silver Bell or not. The Lanark one with now Hamilton. I'll have to check when I get home. It's a possibility. I did when I went through Racecourses meetings possibilities. I didn't include Hamilton in that just to do in future. So I probably have done a meeting before. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it when I get back. Sorry, not taking deliberate video of that bloke. That bloke, he looks pretty fit, doesn't he? And he was knackered coming up here as well. We're out of breath, and I'm thinking, I probably have to come back. I may have to come back this way, and I'm thinking, dear Lord, a long time anyway. But it could be keeling over time, as I said. Yes, I want to get now saying probably get earlier train at least a bit or half an hour earlier. So half from this train station. I've got a name of local one here to Hamilton West. It's every half hour, so I get the earlier one because I want to get some food at some point, and then I might get back there rather than Edinburgh. The fact it's all come down, I think it was the same bloke who's just come past us saying, I think I took the wrong route. Can't do this sort of accent very well, but that's what he said. So I'm wondering if there's no way through here, actually. I took anywhere else, and he just have to come back again. Which would mean very much uphill, but it should be intriguing. So anyway, let's go under Hamilton, we messed up my shoes, we headphones acting like completely dying on me. It's been a nice time though, I have to say. It's nice. I just say Hamilton, I'm popping myself with Bell. I don't think it's the greatest mix in Hamilton. The series meeting was decent. So whether the chance to stay overnight, as a one at September, made a note of a muck to look into, I think. That'll just be going down and leaving. That's as much as the meeting about just going and leaving on the same day. Which is a lot further than I thought, and no wonder people are knackered. Bottom there of the green bridge, where as we are, and at the top is where we started from. This is the way on the other side. It's of relief. I didn't really want to go that same way. It's just a bit. Having gone that way, that's going to be past to Cadzow. There's actually a race, I think, at Hamilton or Ayr. I think maybe Hamilton, so Cadzow race. I'm not sure if I fancy going over to Duke's Monument. Maybe it's time to do it. Just whether I'm going back down again. Not sure yet, but I'll see what I do, and I have to go up at some point anyway, unfortunately, and it's some way up. Yeah, gee, that was uphill. Surprisingly, you stopped once, but just surprisingly almost impressive for me. My shape at a minute. Oh gosh, sweat, tail, it's humid. The jacket's not helping, I have to say. And it's way uphill, and it's and I'm doing too much. But it's just early on the other side, there's bloody flying things. I'm sweating up a bit, certainly now I am, but even early on sweating a bit. Also flying meaty things all the way bloody through the walk. Oh, but every so often it's just an absolute pain. I had some my Hexham video. I was a very testing uphill walk from the Hexham town to Racecourse via Reservoir, and that I was doing flying things over there as well. Oh dear, anyway, Manchester's still live at a minute, so I think the rest of it's probably flat. My fear is it might have a lot, you might go back down again and then up again. But anyway, I think hopefully it's pretty flat, I think, from now. Flying things all around me. This is not fair, is it? Yeah, as I was saying, I tried to sit down for a minute just to check something, but oh dear. Worse than it was earlier, that. Oh, I think it's an entire family grouping have decided, I know what, we'll go here. That's fun. Not flat, it's always back down there now. Hopefully it's just going straight down, not back up again. Oh dear me, so I've probably gone up further and went down. It is really, it's a completely pain, although it's sort of exercise, I suppose. At least that's something. Some of the ruins of Cadzow I mentioned a minute ago. Oh god, I didn't record anything early on, just be best to say an hour, because the F would have been used quite a lot. God, about 6 or 7 times, and I know it's about to get worse. 6 or 7 times going down and then uphill again. I thought it'd be quite flat, and it isn't. Of course, getting a bit sweaty, and the bloody midgy things just would not leave me alone. And literally was continuous, it was all the time. And the shoes acting up as well. And now I've realised I only want to wear crosses around the Duke's Bridge. And yes, bridge means down, and down means down there, and then back up again. Why? Why me? It's not fair. Oh, that's you from the Duke's Bridge, actually. And as you can see, we're some way up. I feared it'd be right towards the bottom, and there's a waterfall behind there, and you've got a nice view here. I generally thought it was a mousey whacked. I think that may be Motherwell. I'm not staging, I'm not sure. I'm just staggering along to the bloody station. Last kilometre, so a pin was pulled from me. I'm absolutely exhausted, but I'm guessing that's Motherwell. I'll look later on perhaps and just see what their staging looks like. This is ludicrous. It's saying Batic in advance, and it says this station. There's no tie and where reasons. There's no ticket machine available. Well, there isn't here. There's not a ticket machine. So where the bloody hell put the sign up? I must talk about every single station. There must be some idiots at Scotwell. Too much Scotwell station. It has to be. To actually not realise that, well, perhaps it looks so stupid putting this up in a station without a ticket machine. Well, there should be 2 stops to a ticket from where I was to Hampton West. They kindly, the Scotwell train manager just didn't charge me, saying, I've got to Hampton West and short journey, and he's doesn't even basically the 2 stops are free, which is very kind of him, frankly.
Right, okay, see you later.
Unless 64 here, had Hampton West from God and wet. It was horrible weather. A few days ago, I wasn't supposed to. Well, yesterday, I wasn't supposed to be raining before a meeting at all. But a bit overnight and early this morning, train down to coming through Bells Hill, going via Medway to Glasgow. Coming in just in, it looked horrific weather, and I thought, well, that's alright, so much, because it won't be raining to Hamilton, because it wasn't supposed to be. Got to the Hamilton West station, I thought, oh shit, it's tipping down, and it was just horrific. I haven't yet put up a video because I've recorded it. Well, I haven't recorded anything for it actually, I never wanted doing it. There's a couple of videos never did this months ago. Weatherby in February. It's the worst weather as I've had for a meeting. It was actually technically, we had a cold, never cold today because it's not raining. It'll be fine. I thought it was a disaster. It's certainly when I left Newcastle, I think check the weather forecast. It's actually raining early. It was supposed to be raining in the meeting. I thought it's actually slightly. We had a pint in the George Inn, nice pint there. It was going to piss down, frankly, wherever I went, from Hamilton West Station over to Racecourse. I did consider it actually, even though it was 2 hours before the first race. I didn't wipe that off. It was so bad. But I realised it's going to be pissing down just walking to there as well. It's not round, I just go to a pub, and it's supposed to be a bit better. Left the pub, it's a bit dry but still raining. It rained for a few minutes, it was really bad again, but luckily dried off. But dear God, this is really, and everything, it's not the only problem I got for this meeting, which I already knew I had some issues. I have to leave after the 5th race. We landed at Silver Bell, really good increase in prize money, 100,000 total prize money, you must have got 50 grand to win or something like that. Really, that's the way I'd come here. I knew I have to miss a final race, because the last race up Hamilton leaves just a little too late to get, well, originally going back to Carlisle, back to Newcastle. I was supposed to go on the 10 o'clock train. Well, Vanti, I've said in an earlier video, are just being useless at trains. They really are. And about a couple of weeks back, they cancelled the train. I was supposed to get a Motherwell down to Carlisle. The only one they could do, there's nothing later, I couldn't get out of Carlisle that way. Was it 6:47 or something out of Hamilton? So it was 7:47 it was going to have been. And I can't do that. Well, down Mr. Hamilton Bell. The Silver Bell, one of the oldest sports trophy in the world. I've mentioned in a previous video of Air Racecourse about the wicked best chief executive, actually former chief executive, acted very badly over. Might put a link to the article actually about it, whether to try and basically they're trying to get the old Lanark Silver Bell, the old Lanark Racecourse used to have this trophy, and then it closed in the 70s, 77. And about 20 years the trophy was just in Lanark, well, in the museum in Lanarkshire, doing nothing. And so I don't know, we'll let offer it to 5 Scottish Racecourses, good offer. And I'm surprised, I mean, we obviously Cadzow, I think, the jumps one wouldn't have been interested. The only two really were, because most of us obviously towards the east, same with Perth relatively. So we're the only others could be Ayr or Hamilton. Hamilton's Lanarkshire, Ayr isn't. And have to be exactly a nasty comment from Hamilton as well. To astonish, which I think it's very astonishing. I've never seen one racecourse make a nasty comment, so snide comments on another racecourse. But thankfully Hamilton won that battle, and the trophy will be here for that race. But I had to go now back to Edinburgh. It's about over 10 quid more. Really annoying, but I see without missing Hamilton Lanark Silver Bell, so I'm here anyway, and I think, oh, do that. It's a total pain. But in on the train was absolutely no nightmare situation. Got the station, a same station in Newcastle. If you haven't seen my videos before, I lived in Newcastle most of my life. I'm basically must have lived in Jesmond, why something people say who don't know me, why I don't sound like I'm from Newcastle, but it's not. So it's not. It's just. I remember George Melly once, a very great late jazz singer. It was all live with my mother a number of years ago. Said in Room 101, the middle classes have lived everywhere. Why he's from Liverpool, but didn't like to sound like black, shall we say? But it's just because that using the accent, and I don't. But I was on so for say 10:42 train, and there's also Metro. Central Station, and I'm actually coming quite quickly from West Yes, remember a station where I live, and I thought that should have been surprisingly close to time train's leaving. About a quarter of an hour, I've got time to get food from the shop across the road, get the train, fine. And I then went to a platform change, across the bridge, and I noticed the doors going from Newcastle. I was only stopping in Lambeth and then across to Edinburgh Waverley, that's fine. But I had a split ticket via Berwick to Edinburgh. Now if you're paying attention here, well, there's a problem here. Why is the train only stopping in Lambeth to Edinburgh Waverley when my split ticket is via Berwick? And it's, of course, It's why I had left time than I thought when I got off the metro. I was on train. I should have been on 10:52, not the 10:42, and I realised just after train left, I thought, oh shit, this is good white mess, because there's only 10 minutes difference, it's not a lot, but if the train man looks at the ticket, he or she, could well just say, "Got a new ticket, I'm afraid, sorry." I couldn't even split it right about it, because of course the train doesn't stop at Berwick, so it's at Armouth. But luckily, the train man didn't come through. Okay, I might have been asleep when he came through, so to speak, and he didn't. If the train man did come through, they didn't check my ticket. Well, that's all I'll say, shall we say? I don't know. I won't say any more than that, what happened there. I may have perhaps be conveniently asleep, shall we say. But that was a relief, and then I got off to Glasgow Central, while a slower train went, a quick train actually out of Ed Waverley, like Queen Street and walking. And thank God I did, because I think the weather would have been horrible in Glasgow as well. I hadn't thought of that. It was a slightly slower train, of course, but I thought that's not enough time. I get the train I'm supposed to get. Start by talking about racing league meeting. I never had time to take a video yesterday in Newcastle. I live in Newcastle, so I'd never done anything beforehand. I was a bit busy, and when I got there, I didn't bother recording anything. Partly because rather unexpectedly, I bumped into someone I know. I said, Phil always wears a hat, and I thought I was going to spring past the Racecourse office, and I thought, that's that Phil. And I went in, just waited for him to come out. So, oh, hello, and I spent more time with him, and he was I think it might be his girlfriend or his sister and his parents. His woman, whoever it was, sorry. I didn't quite catch it. I'm not sure which of the two it was. It's their birthday. And the parents coming from Nottinghamshire. So that was, so I sort of sat behind him, and he said, piffy and witty comments every so often. I'm sure he appreciated it. That was that. But interestingly, Mike, he was not a great racing person at all, as far as him. Completely. A few meetings I just talked to him during the meeting, and just a few said for Newcastle. That's relatively about it. We're talking about racing league, and I said something, and he said, it sounds a bit of a gimmick. And you think to myself, yeah, you're right, it does. And also, I was quit from Newcastle Racecourse. He gone in, and I saw him going back along to the office. I didn't even then I realised later on he did exactly the same I had. But I didn't know this. That there was a £19 ticket, I started it on the day, a website for a ticket entry, race card and a free drink. Bizarrely, and this says over at Newcastle, at the same time, this is early morning on the day of the meeting, the other ticket was a £20 ticket with nothing else. So as in you pay a quid less for more stuff. It says full ground ticket and nothing else, and you pay a quid less for must ticket a race card and a free drink. That says typical Newcastle Racecourse. But when you get in the racecourse, they're not going to get a race card, so only had to get it from the office and back out again. Back along a couple of minute walk, and I'm thinking, and that's what Phil had to do, and his partner, or sister, I'm not sure who it is. And I thought, oh good God, I said to him, I met Phil later on, thinking, oh, this must be what happened to you. And I said it doesn't seem well organised. He said it seemed chaotic, and neither seemed to be impressed. Castle Racecourse, a number of times haven't been. I think they're desperately badly organised. But yeah, I'm not saying that there are videos. I don't like racing league concepts. I think it's stupid. The prize there, because the prize money is decent, but the concept is ridiculous. And I said with Grand Prix race, with point system Formula 1,
and the trainer
almost
states
directly.
In the third race, number 1, Bashful will not run. I repeat, the trainer states that in race 3,
well, that's the weather.
number 1, Bashful will not run.
I mean, it switched to soft. It may well get the heaviest. It also went a little bit later on as well. I mean, the weather was awful here. So it's got to be weather, that one. Behind when they had the choke last night, someone, it was that to put on.
Just to follow up that
on Twitter,
announcement,
that last night, the evening meeting recently, there's no runner due to going at Newcastle. I'm thinking, it's the weather. It was soft as slow, but it's been soft as slow for days. So how can there be no runner due to the going on a weather track? You knew the weather was going to be like anyway, and I'm thinking, yes, interesting. But I said I was sceptical before basically last year. I put a video out, walking across the park. There's only, I was going to a first meeting recently. I live in Newcastle, and I thought it's only 12 quid. I'll give it a go. Might as well. It surprised me it's half decent. Surprised me the meeting was actually quite good. So that's that for that one. I was thinking of putting something about a ridiculous Lancet survey, medical journal, about gambling, which has been handled a couple of times Racing Post, one by Dan Waugh, an analyst who was quoted in last week's Racing Post. There's another one today, I haven't got a chance to read it actually. There's another an article, I've been critical of it in my personal account, I have for quite a few years on Twitter, and the Arsenal 64 account. But I'll do as a separate video because it's going to be, I think it's quite a complicated issue. There's a lot of flaws of that survey. I think it's absolutely ridiculous survey. And I think rather weed something out really for that. It's kind of walk across there and it's making a mistake walking across the graphic. It's just worse than I thought it was going to be. Something private, I don't harass people all looking mad, talking to my phone. There are people there, and suddenly walk across the grass, goes out of the way, and bloody hell out. Some of it is, just see one guy walking across it there, and it's like sploshing across the water. It's incredible. It's really, it's very wet, and that's what I would do. There's no service, it's great. This supposed academic research people are just incompetent. It's not even, I don't agree with their conclusions, they're just terrible. But anyway, I was going to future race meetings. Like I said before, I've got Good coming up. I've got 2 at Cadzow booked quite recently. I'm off at Kempton, and the listed race, Cadzow, a couple of decent handicaps. I'm at Cadzow since 2019, April. A disastrous meeting, not betting wise. I went with somebody, shall we say, a woman. We didn't, in effect, didn't make the final race. It did not go well. I was kind of joking in my Grand National Twens video. Well, I never take the 2001 Grand National in terms of trends, because of the weather, but mainly, we're going mainly because of 10 horses taken out by 2 loose horses, Paddington and Edmund. Saying that way started okay, and by the end, you're wishing it would finish. And that's like my date, I'm afraid, at Cadzow. So, 43 years ago. So a couple of meetings at Cadzow, some possibilities, maybe first a week on Saturday, a week tomorrow, and some others. Trains cost are too expensive though. Not much with Ludlow actually in a few months' time, but the trade costs aren't there, but I know it will be. It hasn't been Ludlow, only been the once, I think that's 2016, early 16, didn't have beaten Ludlow, so I might go there again. But a lot of risky races, quite a few stuff to do, and unfortunately they're just too expensive. I did say in my videos there will be everything Group 1 grade race above Liberty and Chase. I keep saying that in that Andy Financial. Well, that's changed in a way. It looks sounds less impressive than it used to because they've changed. The DHA have moved the grade 3 handicaps and moved premium handicaps, and certain listed handicaps are premium handicaps or class 2 depending which race it is. But now I realise I've been to all of these premium handicaps, and the one race listed handicap I could probably get into is at Chatelherault on Sunday because transport to Chatelherault is non-existent on Sunday until about 3 o'clock. But that's now class 2, so technically I can avoid it. But now being a race, I'm every single group of graded race, all premium handicap chase or hurdle. I think it might be hurdle or chase. I think both are premium handicaps. I think both count for both. Bar that one Liberty chase. So I've still been to all the races, even though to change the format because the listed handicaps I've actually been to already. A bit more than Eastbound in this second race, a maiden and debutant. One decent race actually. I think maybe in a bit green. Ran well for second. We're never quite going to winner. But before the race, that's an absolute dick, frankly. I was in the stands. I started standing quite close to the winning post, and I moved across to where I was going to go. And someone, I think I must have been about waiting to land on me on the phone, I think there. 50s, maybe 60s. Said something to him behind him, think, oh, William, you now stand in front of you now or something, or sat down. And I thought, I ignored it. And then he said to me, can you move across a bit? Good Lord, okay. And he basically said, well, do you not notice I sat down? And I'm thinking, I wasn't exactly very fun. I muttered something or whatever, I don't know. I mean, I've never been told that in I worked it out sadly, I tried to do this. I think it's been the 70th meeting I've been to since March, my birthday, March 3rd, 2015. And I've never worked with Scotland before in Ireland, I've never been told that before. Guess can we go to somewhere who sat down? Actually, we could stand up in the race, aren't they? And they did. And I'm thinking, well, what's your bloody point? And he was quite he was basically just had a bit of a go at me, and I thought, good God, absolutely, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you sat down, just stand up then if you want to stand. I mean, we're You're not young people, I think. Not I have to be not being kind here, not a finished person. I'm not thin either, mind you. But say about them, I mean, I'm as bad. But maybe late 50s, early 60s. Okay, you sat down, but if you sat down, you can't complain to someone in front if you before the race. And they're assuming you're going to stand up during the race, and we did. And in fact, it must be the other partner, the other. For me, I must assume his husband or the other one, and one came up belongs to us standing anyway. And I think, what? What's going on? That's just crazy. I've never been told to something about where someone sat down before. I don't remember being so, and I wouldn't. And frankly, if there was, it's just ridiculous. Really, it's not, if you can't. I mean, you can't. I mean, I appreciate some people are older people. Yeah, I'm sorry, not getting on. I mean, well, a bit like me. I think a bit overweight. You can't stand. Fair enough, but don't go pick your. You're way before. If you're going to stand up during the race, right? You know, that's normal. You sat down, but don't go at people standing in front of you before the race. It's ridiculous. Advantage and competence knows no bounds. I've had to check in the time of my train from Hamilton West to Glasgow Central, then walk to Queen Street and get a train to Edinburgh and then to Newcastle. And that was stupidly actually, National Rail doesn't bring that one up. But then it's brought up with the train via Carlisle, and I thought, hang on. That's the Motherwell to Carlisle train was cancelled 2 weeks ago. So it's now running. And I say it's cost you over 10 quid more and have to miss the 6th race now as well. And I'm furious. What the hell's going on with Auntie? Unless train split got it wrong instead of train can cancel. But I did check though what trains are available. And not through them, I think. And I'm pretty sure the only one was 6:47, which I said was now earlier. I had a tweet of Auntie's Twitter account saying what the hell's going on here because someone's just speaking to me crap. It looks like it might have been put back on again. It's just farcical. They cancelled the train 2 weeks ago, then put it back on. I don't know what's happened. I'm pretty pissed off, frankly.